So joining me now is Republican Congressman Mike McCaul, chairman of the Committee on Homeland Security, also, of course, serving on Foreign Affairs Committee. Congressman, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks, Andrea.
Well, I have to ask you about what happened over the weekend in Quebec, because the president not only refused to sign a document that American diplomats had helped negotiate, but then countenances his top trade negotiators, saying there's a special place in hell for the Prime Minister of Canada, whose troops are right now serving in Afghanistan with ours. What's going on here?
Right. And so a little bit of a surprise this weekend. I think the president has talked about the trade deficits with other countries for quite some time. He's delivering on that campaign promise. But I do think that I was a critic of Obama because I didn't feel like he was treating our allies as our friends and our enemies as enemies. And I think you could kind of make a similar analogy, on this one. I think it's important, the Speaker of the House and myself, Chairman Kevin Brady, Ways and Means Chairman, all sent a letter out cautioning him on sanctions. If you're going to do sanctions and tariffs, and trade wars, it seems to me you got to be more focused at our enemies and not our friends and our allies. And where I come from, the state of Texas, our NAFTA agreement, Mexico's our largest trading partner in Texas. So we don't want to see that document shredded.
And there are plenty of Republicans and Trump Democrats in Michigan, Ohio, other parts of the auto sector, to say the least, are going to be hurt by these tariffs and by the retaliation from Canada.
And I have an energy sector in my home state of Texas that obviously the steel tariffs will impact them. I've talked to the people in my district, and it's not the outcome they would like to see.
Yeah, you need steel to build pipelines, don't you? Natural gas pipelines and the like. Here's Secretary Pompeo being asked about the president's very harsh criticism and about what trade negotiator Navarro had to say on Sunday talk shows.
There are always irritants in relationships. I am very confident that relationships between our countries, the United States and those G7 countries, will continue to be move forward on a strong basis. I'm unconcerned about our capacity to continue to do what we need to do to get the outcome we're looking for in North Korea.
Do you have any concerns here in Singapore that the president might be projecting too much of a positive nature with Kim Jong-un? Why should we now trust the North Koreans after they cheated in 1994 against Bill Clinton and again in 2002 against George W. Bush?
That's a great question. They've deceived three prior presidents, administrations. They don't have a good track record. They are deceptive. They pulled out of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, as you mentioned. So I would urge a bit of caution going into this. I know Mike Pompeo very well. I served with him, and I have to say his bit of optimism, though, but at the same time, maximum pressure to get to a good result. I think the difference between this and say President Obama and Iran was they weren't prepared to leave the table, and they just wanted a deal, not a good deal. I think they got a bad deal in Iran. I don't think you see that happen in this case, and I do think Mike's optimism, Pompeo's optimism, along with a relatively short time frame, was somewhat surprising. And this could be a very monumental diplomatic breakthrough.
Well, we will, of course, be seeing them sitting down one-on-one in about a little less than 9 hours from now. So thanks for joining us today, Mike McCaul. Congressman, it's always good to see you.
Thank you. A very historic meeting today. Thank you.
Indeed.